Hey guys, welcome back to Vinceville Custom. So today I'm sharing with you a Wonder Woman custom statue made from the Sideshow Collectibles Lady Death Temptation statue. When I first saw this statue back at the New York Comic Con, maybe 2-3 years ago, I absolutely fell in love with this statue. I thought it was great. I know a lot of people maybe in the beginning didn't like it. They got a bad reception, but I think once people saw it, it started growing on people. I just like the idea that it was something different. You know, it was a sitting pose, stretching. You got a nice, good anatomy with the back being arched backwards. You know, like, we're so used to, like, a lot of these statues standing with one leg up or just in a regular museum pose. I think every once in a while, just, you know, like, sitting down in a cool pose like this, I think it just worked, and I think it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with the statue. I think it worked great. Of course, when I saw Lady Death, I was like, I gotta make a Wonder Woman out of that statue. I think it would look really cool because it just popped in my head right away. Had the hair in the hands flipping down, sitting, just chilling, stretched back. I think it just was, you know, something I really wanted to do, and it was a lot of fun. So we'll kind of, you know, give you a little bit of a turn on this. We'll break it all down for people that are always interested on, you know, what I had to do and just how I came up with it. But really great statue, a lot of fun. Sexy statue, definitely very sexy statue. Like I said, Sideshow did a great job with this. So let's get a little bit closer. Try to break it down best as I can. So bear with me on, you know, being long-winded video, but I always like to give as much information on for people as possible. So, kind of start off at the bottom, work our way up. As you can see with the base, it came with skulls all over on the side. So what I did is I chopped off all those skulls, and then I found out that the whole thing was hollow in there. So what I did is I filled it up with some fiberglass that you use for, like, when you break your arm or, you know, fingers and stuff that I got from somebody. So I put a lot of fiberglass in there and filled it up. Because when I say it was hollow, it wasn't like eggshell hollow, but it was hollow at the point where I kind of needed to fill it in so I could sculpt rocks around it. So I threw a lot of that in there. And then I sculpted all these rocks at the bottom just to kind of match it up a little bit. The idea was, it's okay she's sitting on rocks with some, like, grass and dirt around her, because maybe she's at Themyscira and she just got done practicing, she's chilling, or maybe the rocks are near a beach. I mean, you're focused on Wonder Woman, really, not really focused on the base that much. And, you know, so I just kind of ran with it and just kind of had some fun. As far as the sword, this is a Wonder Woman letter opener. You can get them all over the place, but they're all, like, chromed out with gold from here down, and then this is all bright chrome. So what I did is I did a clear Duplicolor primer over all this, and I painted all this in metal. I did this in, like, leather, and then I dulled down this, and I scraped it up to make it look a little bit worn. So I think it fits better with her because, you know, she's not going to have this big chromed out sword. She has a sword like that mostly. Now onto the legs. So the legs have those boots from Lady Death, and there's a lot of wrinkles all over there. You know, there's wrinkles all over here, and there's wrinkles all over here, and it comes up to about here. So what I did is I sanded all those down, and I rebuilt the knees, especially this knee here. So I rebuilt that a little bit, and I had to work out this knee and everything around there. That was probably one of the most, like, you know, wouldn't say it wasn't really the most work, but it was kind of one of the more parts where you got to make the knees look pretty good. You can't just, like, sand it down and not really fix it up a little bit. So once I got through that hurdle, it worked out pretty good. So, you know, I sculpted out the under part of her, and then the belt. I always liked Terry Dotson's version of Wonder Woman. That's why I like to follow, because, you know, the way he drew the boots and the way he drew the armor and stuff, I always like his style. That's kind of like my favorite Wonder Woman version. So that's what I like to do. I changed up, of course, the breastplate a little bit different from what he did, but I kind of keep it the same. So it was a little bit difficult to get that breastplate up there, only because she's stretching backwards, so you got to kind of find out how the breastplate would fit with going backwards, so I kind of worked it out a little bit. For the red outfit, I added lines. I worked out the lines back there. It's kind of hard to see from here. I did, like, a line where the zipper would be back there. And that's what I came up with that. As far as holding up the belt, this right here is actually a piece of bronze, you know, bar that I kind of bent into which would be a staple. And I dremelled out there and there, and I pushed it in, but not all the way in, and I let it cured with some glue. And then after that, I sculpted A's around it to give it, like, that leather, like, clipping strap. And then after that, I wrapped this rope around at the end. This is like a stretchy gold rope. I find that this rope is probably the best to use for like 1/4 scale statues, because when you cut the edges, they don't fray like some of this other gold ropes I found in the past. You know, I'm always trying to find things, and you know, when you go on eBay and you order stuff, because it's not physically in your hand, you never really know what you get until you get it, and then you start messing with it. But this is what I found works the best. Now on to the top part of her, which was probably the most fun for me. I know a lot of guys don't like sculpting hair, but I had a lot of fun. So when you actually break up the Lady Death, she has a big solid piece of hair in her back that's glued in, and then the head is loose. The head goes onto the body because she's got like that collar, and then another hair piece goes on top of that. But then, you know, the gloves get, it's very confusing. I don't know how they put these pieces together. It seems like maybe they put them all together and they glue them at the same time. I don't really know. But once I was breaking all this stuff, I was learning that band is like, oh, that's a piece, that's a piece, that's a piece. So it was like weird. Once I got it all said and done, though, I had to rebuild the neck on the head. So what I did is I attached the head back onto her, and I rebuilt the neck because she's got that collar and it's not attached. So once I got the head back on, I fixed up the arms with the gloves. I built out the bracelets, and then I put the, you know, the head piece up here, and then it was all pretty much ready to go. I did all the armor and everything first, and the hair was last. So the idea basically was, I wanted her to have that sexy look of hair, but I wanted to have a flow, like she's stretching, she has her hand behind her hair, and she's just flipping it up, and the hair's kind of coming down. So I wanted to have like a little bit more heavy hair coming over on this side compared to this side. So you can kind of see I split it over there, and I made this a little bit heavy. This was like a lot of layering. You know, it was like one day I would do a couple strands, and then another day I would do a couple more, and then I just kept doing more and more and more until I got it to where I wanted it, because I wanted it very flowing and very, you know, like have some volume to her. Now, one of the parts was, you know, I wanted the chrome bracelets to be like within the hair, so they kind of pop out from the black a little bit more. And the other thing was, if I have the hair flipping up here, you can't have this lot of mass here and then a lot of mass here, because it's like you got to kind of split the mass. So what I did was I was doing all this hair pieces down here first, and then I started, you know, filling up over here, and then I said I got to stop, because if this hair is coming up and around this hand, it's got to, you know, we got to kind of do that split. So that's kind of what I was thinking when I was doing that. So you can kind of see, like, if this, my idea is like if this hair actually falls down on this part, it's going to look correct. So that's kind of why it looks a little bit weird at the moment, but that's because I split the mass. And then, you know, what I wanted to do is I figured the hair is coming down at this angle, you know, so she put her hand up, and it's going through her fingers, and it's kind of flowing downwards. So as she flips over her hand, the hair would just kind of go back. That's kind of like my whole thought process on that. And then I think it just worked out pretty good, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I think it just works great for Wonder Woman. Nice little sexy pose for her for once, you know, just running with it. So as far as the paintwork goes, you know, rocks at the bottom, just straight up, you know, like Themyscira type of colored rocks that were there. Not really like the brown, not like the black or the grayish rocks, more like brownish, tannish, you know, stuff like that. I figured, I mean, if I really wanted to go really further with it, and if it was going to be a bigger base, I would probably try to do something where, like, water would be coming up against the rocks, like she's by the water. But, you know, to get the clear resin and the clear stuff, it's way too much, and I think it would just go too much with the statue. Plus, I would have to make the base bigger, and it's just, I think it works pretty good the way that works. As far as all the red, it's mahogany with reds, whites. What I wanted to do is really talk about the stars. I know a lot of guys who work on vehicles know this. I don't really know this, so I talked to Woody from Archer Fine Transfers, and I'm going to put the link of the video in the description that he showed me, and it just made my life 10 times easier. These are rub-on stars. So when you actually get these stars, you cut them out, and you can rub them on with like a end of an eraser from a pencil, or you can use like a metal tool or a piece of wood, or whatever you can to rub it off. The problem is when you do it on 3D items, like curves like this, if you mess up or you can't get in there and you pull the star wrong, you rip the star. He showed me the video where you could rub the star onto this paper that's water soluble. You put the paper in water and you could slide the star off, and oh my god, it made my life 10 times easier. I got all these stars on without having to rub them on the statue, and it just, I have to thank Woody for that. It just came out great. Like I said, I know a lot of guys with that do war vehicles or sci-fi vehicles are like, oh, we've known about that for years. Well, you know, I don't really do that stuff, but I'm learning as I go. So I'm excited. What can I say? But it worked out pretty good, and now I know I could do stars even easier than before. So, like I said, check out that video in the description. All the armor is in pale gold from Alclad. The bracelets are in chrome Alclad. I used to do all the armor chrome Alclad and then yellow clear, but I kind of like the pale gold better. Fits Wonder Woman a little bit better, and I kind of ran with that. Hair is straight up black, and then I use iridescent blue from Garage Kits Colors, and then I flattened it, so you got that kind of blue tint in her hair, but it's still black like the comics. Now, as far as the skin tone, Garage Kits flesh tones, I love their flesh tones. For her face, I gave her some eyeshadow, a little bit of Payne's Gray eyeshadow, but not much, just a little bit, just to, you know, darken up the eyes, sockets a little bit. Gave her some blush, and then the lipstick, I went with red lipstick, a little bit of darker red lipstick, not really too bright red. Add a little bit of mahogany in there as well, but not too crazy. And then there's the Arch Refined Transfer eyes are his realistic eyes, because I helped him design superhero eyes, and then he's got realistic eyes in different shades. He's got anime eyes. So I like the light blue for Wonder Woman, and like Power Girls, but then like other characters, I'll use like the superhero blue where it's darker. So you get to change up your items. But there you go. That is Wonder Woman from Lady Death Temptation. Hopefully you guys like the way it came out. I had a blast working on this. I got another Lady Death in the works. I'm going to make a Marvel female out of it. Something I really haven't done before too much. I think I'm going to change up the base on this character because I want to try to tell a little bit more of a story with this character. And check that out probably hopefully later in 2018. I'll have it done. It should come out pretty cool if everything works out. If I get the items off eBay I've been looking at and they work, it'll be a really cool custom. So there you go. Lady Death into Wonder Woman. Let me know what you guys think. I had a great time working on it. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos.